This is how much I've lost with Jenny Craig. 34 kilos of pizza. Now I've lost the weight, I feel dangerous. Seriously, I've got so much energy to do anything I want. Guys, put the pizza down, pick up the phone and call Jenny.
Yeah, it has. It's been a week that you don't have too many of those in footy. Obviously started on Saturday night with a disappointing loss to St Kilda, and the injuries we've got coming into this week aren't great, but we think we've got a team out there that can do the job for us this week.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of talk about the soft tissue. I think it's 17 different cases, 11 different players. Is something that needs further looking into?
Certainly we're not happy with the injuries we're getting. I think part of it's a new program, teaching guys how to get fitter and stronger, and we're still confident that we need to get, as I've always said, we need to get physically better to compete with the best sides, and with that comes consequences, I suppose, and risk. For every player that gets injured, we're disappointed for them and for us, but we're still very confident in the program we've got going.
So it's still a bit of short-term pain for hopefully the next couple of years.
Certainly hope so. That's the idea, yeah.
James, obviously we talk about injuries, but to get someone back from injury like Scott Gumbleton must be a great relief to get him back in.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's great for Scott. It's great for his teammates, but primarily it's fantastic for Scott to be back. I think he's played now 6 games back in the reserves, so he's had a good stint in the reserves. His last back operation was 7 or 8 months ago, so it's enough time, and we're confident he's played well enough to come in and give us a really good game tomorrow against Port Adelaide. But his story, we hope from now on that it's injury-free.
Has he been set goals along that time? Obviously the last AFL game in 2010 is a long time ago. Has he had to reach goals to get back to this stage?
Yeah, definitely. The guys in the conditioning area have done a lot of work with him on all strengthening his muscles, strengthening his back, getting his flexibility better, all areas of his physical preparation. And once that was done, we needed to teach him how to play footy again, because the game had changed a lot since he last played. So there's been little goals along the way, and he's achieved all those. And the last one was to really get through 3 sort of VFL games in a row before we'd think about selection, which he's done.
Just back with the soft tissues, I mean, you get 2 more this week. How does it sort of work? Do you go back to the fitness staff and say, guys, what's going on? Or are you fully aware of the program and, as you say, that these might just keep coming up?
Yeah, look, we're fully aware of the program. We put the program together as a group. Do we get injuries this week? I'm not sure. I mean, we'll get injuries every week we play, more than likely. That's the nature of the game. So we get some back next week. We might lose some. It sounds fairly cold, but we're trying to build a team that when it gets an opportunity, is successful and is prepared the right way, and that's what we're trying to do. And we think we've got an excellent physical preparation program that is having some problems with it at the moment, but we think it'll do the right thing over a long enough time.
Has there been more than you would have expected this year, though?
One's more than I like. You always like to have your best team out there and your best players playing, and we haven't got some of those this week. But that creates huge opportunity for other people. We've got a rookie playing, Mark Bagley's first game, Scott Gumbleton coming back. We've been able to handle injuries reasonably well this year, and we just hope that's the case this week.
But then it's a repeat with someone like Michael Hill, it's a different hamstring. Is that when it becomes seriously concerning that such a valuable player keeps getting soft tissues?
Whether it's soft tissues or other injuries, it's concerning. Whenever Michael's not playing, it's concerning. Whenever Paddy Ryder's not playing, it's concerning. We're concerned when any player is injured. And we're not happy about it, but it is what it is, and we'll deal with it. So there's not much we can do about Michael Hurley not playing now, but it's about Scott Gumbleton playing, it's about David Hill playing well, about Tom Bell-Chambers playing well, and that's what we're focused on.
Is playing games hard surface, do you play any role?
I think that the contrast in surface between Windy Hill, which is very soft at the moment, and Etihad has a minimal role. It's not just this year, but Essendon has had significant injuries, and the harder surface at Etihad would have a small contribution to that. But in other ways, it prepares you better for other grounds. So we can't sit here and complain about Etihad because it's our home ground and we play there more than anyone else does, and we've got to deal with that. Yeah, you might. I mean, we've still got 2 very good big targets down there with Hill and Gumbleton, and Bell-Chambers spend some time there. So Joe will spend some time there, and we've got some smaller guys who will work well crumbing the ball. So you might see David Myers up there a little bit as well.
Heath Ogden, 3 suspensions in just over 12 months. Is that frustrating as a coach to sit down and talk to him and say we can't afford this?
It's the same with the injuries. We're frustrated when they're not playing, but I don't know if you saw the incident, but Heath wasn't totally. Well, he wasn't the only one pushing and shoving and doing what he did. So we asked Heath to play a very tough brand of football. We asked him to go about his game in a manner that puts other players off the game as a tagger, and he does it very well. And sometimes you've got to take the good with the bad. He's very disappointed that he's not playing, as am I, but he has worked so hard to make this club what it is and the team what it is that I'm not going to sit here and give him a lecture on how to play football.
James, how does this Port Adelaide form? It seems to be a bit of a roller coaster for them. They had some really good wins and some really bad losses. How do you assess them going west?
Yeah, I think like us, on the weekend they didn't play their best football. You know, Essendon got beaten by 71 points and Port got beaten convincingly as well. So both the teams are coming off bad losses. But the week before, I think it was against Geelong, they were excellent and almost beat Geelong down there, which is probably the toughest task in football. So they're a good quality team. They've got some harder players back in the team this week. And Boak didn't play when they played Geelong either. So it's an improvement from that Geelong game. Our last 2 performances against Port Adelaide have been very close wins to us and could have gone either way. And I think up until then, they've convincingly beat Essendon. So, and Essendon hasn't won at Port Adelaide since 2000. So it's a record that we want to change.
You mentioned 3 games in total for Scotty. What's the total for Jason?
Yeah, Jason's pretty similar. I think that he got through a half last week. We hope to get through hoping to get through 3 quarters this week, and then we'll look at how far he is away from selection. He's a quality player, Jason, and we want him on the side as quickly as we can. But I also don't want to put him in for a week and get him injured or have him underdone. So when he's played enough football and physically conditioned to come back in, he'll certainly come back in. But we just have to make sure that we don't get him hurt by me wanting him in the side too quickly.
Joe, there didn't appear to be too many senior list players left in the Bendigo lineup. Has it been a really tough week selection-wise, given the amount of players that you haven't got involved with?
We still had quite a number to select from. I haven't gone through the numbers, but no, it wasn't. We've still got quite a few players to pick. I think there's still 10 from the AFL list playing for Bendigo, so there's still quite a few. We had 16 last week. So our overall numbers injury-wise aren't that bad at the moment. It's more just it's our key forwards or our forwards that are injured. Our back line's holding up well, our midfield's holding up well, and our forward line seem to have copped the injuries.
Did you use Elliot the game?
So, mate.
Are you due to use Elliot Cameron?
Yeah, we are. He was very close this week, Elliot. He actually, and no injury, he was just a bit tired after the game on the weekend, so he'll play reserves. I just thought that pulling up a bit tight from reserves game 6 days ago was a big ask to go and ask him to play over in Port Adelaide, being tight. So we'll keep him in the reserves here at Windy Hill tomorrow.
The next 1 month is pretty much a good test for this group. The toughest James, obviously the first half of the season was fantastic, but as George was saying, suspensions and injuries got in the way. It's a big team's going as well.
Yeah, we're 2/3 the way through the season, and we're really looking forward to the last third in terms of the home and away. We've put ourselves in a good position to make finals. Now we need to capitalise on that and win games when they're up for winning. And we haven't looked past Port Adelaide this week. After we get through Port Adelaide, we'll look after the week after. But this time last week I was sitting here and we had just about David Zaharakis and Angus Momfries were only injuries on our list, and we're all going well. We lose, we get injuries, so you can't afford to look too far past week to week. We'll get through this game and look to the next week after that.
Sorry, can I ask just one more on the injuries? I know you're confident long term it's the right strategy going now, but in such an even season, do you fear these injuries to key players could cost you a good chance of challenging?
No, injuries are never great, but no, we're training our players the way we train them to make them as good as they can be, and to give ourselves the best opportunity when we're good enough. So that's the only answer I can give to that question. Thanks, mate.